welcome back to our second round of New World Burgundies, today with Pinot Noir from all over the world. We are here at Neuen Welt, probably best wine bar in the Southern Hemisphere, with Jessica Wood, head sommelier, and Stephen Wong, master of wine, wine educator, judge and journalist, and our local Burgundy expert here in Wellington. So, let's dive straight in with our beautiful flights.
Beautiful glasses.
Yeah.
Beautiful colours as well.
Yeah, I think it's very diverse. Yeah. So I think we have like nearly the whole spectrum of Pinot colors you could expect.
Absolutely.
Different levels of abstraction. So. Oh.
Opening one with lovely vibrant fruit quality, the red currant, cranberry notes, almost like a salted plum. Quite elegant oak.
Balance and structure-wise, it does remind me of like more old school kind of Burgundy. It's got that leathery, earthy, saddle sort of complexity to it, which comes across in the grip on the palate as well.
Yeah, definitely like nice amount of different layers that come through this wine. Also, very different oak spice. I think there's a certain spice level that's really interesting.
It sits with that more sort of rosemary, herbal, just a hint of a whole bunch of kind of green character, but just like a little seasoning.
Like subtle whole bunch.
The food is quite dark, interestingly. Yeah, it's in that red to black spectrum. There's a sunniness and a depth and a brooding edge to it, which the sort of more animal sauvage character emphasizes.
Yeah, I think that with the dark fruit characteristics really come out here. And definitely like the simple side as well, with the leather, a bit of ironness, maybe.
Yeah, a fair sort of iron.
Interesting. There's a fair bit of body. The acidity is still there. It's also quite a sunny, sun-drenched sort of ripe fruit spectrum style, almost the blackest sumac, juniperberry.
Yeah, sumac,
Into that spectrum.
And quite robust tannin structure as well. It's quite a powerful style. Sort of builds on the palate.
Those tannins remind me a little bit of indigo.
Yeah.
Kind of like it's there. It's so there.
Yeah, I think especially in comparison to wine 2 should be interesting to that one.
Yeah.
Because they're color-wise they're quite similar in section level.
Yeah.
But the whole bunch comes out in a lot more lifted, more sort of like potpourri, floral edge to it.
Yeah.
Touch more of a sort of a lemon verbena or like a herbal character, mint, delicate mint.
Fruit is closer to the cherry red end of the spectrum a little bit more as well, like Chino, and almost smells salty, if that makes sense. Like there's a
I'm getting white mushroom as well, which I didn't really see in white wine.
There's a lot of sort of built-in complexity, which I wonder is what they've done with the extraction of a whole bunch to get that level of perfume.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely much cooler on the palate. Refreshing.
There's always that danger of when you're doing, stem soaks and stuff, if it's from a cooler climate, they can come across green. But this avoids it. It's got that bony, almost pink, wild strawberry edge
Yeah.
to the whole bunch character. It's vibrant and lifted, but like whole thing is quite light.
It's quite light, and I think like a more of a red currant leaf whole bunch element as opposed to very grainy or a firm or astringent whole bunch. Yeah.
The tannins across the front palate.
Yeah.
It's like more chalky tannins across there. Oh,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely shows how well Pinot Noir just takes up terroir anywhere in the world.
Yeah, like from a cooler side in Burgundy, but with that intensity of fruit is very, very New World. Like it's so piercing and sweet. It's almost like it reminds me of one of those cooler sides in Montblanc.
Yeah,
Where you've
I
got
like
that purity of fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. The wild strawberry is certainly sticking, I think. Definitely some time for development for this wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Daring move with the sort of whole bunch to go in that direction. I think it paid off here, at least at the moment. It's quite appealing. Goodness. This looks older.
Yeah, it looks older and
Oh, it smells older.
certainly.
Oh my.
A lot to unpack in this wine, I think.
Yes.
The base of that sort of savory beef stock.
Yeah.
It smells like, this is terrible tasting, but it smells like halfway along making a ramen broth. Like before it starts to turn that milky white color. As everything's coalescing in there, all the savory characters and spices and herbs is beginning to melt into the broth.
That's such a wholesome description, isn't it? I'm smelling an abundance of herbs, rosemary, thyme, lavender.
And the earthiness to it as well, like a really nice
Very much.
undergrowth
Yeah.
characteristic marrying with the herbs and
Yes, yeah, kind of a marjoram, dried leaves. It's got a lovely brick orange kind of hue to it that reminds me of Nebbiolo, one of my other favourite grape varieties.
yeah.
Underneath it, there's so much complexity to it, but underneath those billowing layers of herb and floral and earthiness, there is still that beautiful Pinot sweetness of fruit just melting in the
Yeah.
core.
Yeah.
Ah, Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
I think you can really see like a second or third generation now, New World, like taking over how much intensity and complexity these sites that have known all the wines and grown into the terroir can deliver these incredible examples of Pinot Noir.
Beautiful, savoury, umami kind of slight soy-esque flavour profile immediately on the palate that builds. Has lovely intensity, but also shape and drive to the wine is sort of like a diamond shape, really generous and mouthfilling, but then tapered on finish.
Yeah.
Quite long, but quite lifted.
It seems like there was a fair bit of New York, maybe this in its youth, because that's still the dustiness of the oak tannins is still quite present on the palate right now.
Yeah.
I think the fruit tannins have mainly resolved, but right across the top of the palate, there's still this dusty graininess.
Very much resolved tannins, yeah. It's almost like a arch, bridge-shaped arch.
I think it's still beautiful, this cherry and strawberry that comes through in between all of the other layers of complexity.
Oh, it's absolutely layered, yeah.
Yeah. I think this will probably go on and on and on.
I'm more a fan of the nose than the palate at the moment. It's so expressive on the nose. The palate still seems like there's a little bit more that needs to sort of smooth out and resolve. wonder if this was actually quite a ferment groupy wine in Sweden. I wonder if it ever really get to that fully resolved, smooth state. I think this might always be slightly broad-shouldered.
Yes.
A little bit more of a brooding.
It seems from a warm vintage, I think, and packing all of those components together at the stage we can see it now. I think will allude to your comments, Stephen, as well.
That's super intriguing to
Very
smell.
good. Very good.
Yeah, we'll probably keep on developing for hours.
Back to a slightly more roomy hue for fourth wine.
Yeah.
Immediately earthy, sort of undergrowth forest floor notes.
Restrained.
Yeah. It has a real lift on the palate I wasn't quite expecting from the nose. Still quite vibrant fruit. Good acidity. The tannins are, I would still say, in the chalky camp. Not quite as resolved as obviously wine 3, but they have a nice shape to them. They're quite long-grained and long-chain tannins.
Seems a little bit more broody and muted and closed compared to the others. The smokiness on the nose, you have the tannins and the grip on the palate, and it's in that violet to purple black fruit, and it's very polished, very burnished, but doesn't want to come out and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is definitely one of the wines that can still lay a bit in the cellar and develop and will be very rewarding in 5 to 10 years.
This is the one that I would maybe, if you hadn't actually told me that there was no Burgundy here, this wine I might have gone to Burgundy with, just because the structure of those tannins and how unevolved the nose seems, the way the oak sits out a little bit at the moment, smokiness, but that floral, very violet kind of character to it. There's like a Vin de Vougeot-esque kind of feel to. I know it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, still everyone takes inspiration, so.
It's so complex.
It's complex.
Innate complexity as opposed to this expressed complexity in wine frame. I'm so intrigued to know who wine form is. There's this perfume on the nose of 4 now, which for me is that holy grail of Pinot. It's that edge of violet, floral, which I dream about. I hope I see. It's in there somewhere.
Lovely wines, for sure. They're all intriguing in their own ways. I keep wanting to come back and see different things. Wine is certainly changing a lot in the glass.
Yeah. There's an edge to one which is taking a turn for the more sour plum now. There's a warmth and a dustiness to it. Where I initially thought it had sort of like warmer Central Otago notes to it. The fruit profile just doesn't seem to suit Central Otago for me now. It's a dustier, almost more it's like a warm climate to it.
Yeah, it's quite right. I did find more red fruit on the nose for sure, but yeah, it's certainly changing.
Yeah, intriguing. little whole bunch / carbonic kind of notes in wine too.
Yeah.
Make it really uplifted and
Yeah.
vibrant and crunchy.
Yeah, there's a sweetness to too.
Yeah. I mean, still the development in the glass. It's always beautiful how Pinot goes that long way from when you first taste it, when you pour it, then you leave it for a while, and all of a sudden it starts to develop, change its nature a bit.
There's a Beaujolais-esque kind of carbonic freshness, which is so drinkable. Yeah, it makes it stand apart from the other wines, I think.
Almost like a new wave of winemaking in wine too, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly the country it's from.
Totally confounded by where number 3 might be from. It seems warm climate, like you said,
Yeah.
and then by process of elimination, I mean, where are we?
Yeah.
We have with South Africa for a warmer climate. We've got parts of Australia, although they tend to pick a little bit earlier to try and capture more of the finesse.
Yes,
variety.
and also for the colour of this wine, the age that it must be to then be made in that style.
That's right. Russian River?
Yeah, I sort of thought wine too might be from Oregon. Just with the sweetness, but fine winemaking.
Yeah.
Cool climate.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, all are very serious styles of Pinot Noir, but I think you can see that there's a lot of effort
Yeah.
being put into the wines. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. 3 is very intriguing. Trying to draw all the knowledge of possible vintages and sort of regional expressions in the place captured in this wine glass.
There's this, I think, this sweetness to it, and then the underlayers. Then
Yeah. And I have sort of seen this, and I know this is absolutely the wrong way to do blind tasting, but Rolodex in your head, like, what wine is that? Rather than systematic, right?
Yes.
There's what you were talking about with Nebbiolo earlier.
Yeah.
There's a character that I've seen in older Australian Pinot that goes in that direction, a combination of wiper and cooler notes together, the floral, spicy.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously Victoria. There is. We haven't even mentioned Tasmania yet.
The acidity maybe isn't quite right for Tasmania,
Yeah,
so that's probably
yeah.
why we haven't gone there.
Yeah.
Where in Victoria? I mean, we're not playing that game, but if it was, yeah. Interior or coastal?
I'd probably say Wellington.
Yeah.
Definitely. More of it seems to have a more coastal lift to it.
Yeah.
For me,
Rather than the definition of something further inland.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know where this carbonic style too would have come from. I see a little bit of it sometimes in Mama, but I can't actually conjure a producer that does this. Which again, it's not the right way to do blind tasting, but
yeah. But you always rely on your experience,
Yeah,
of course.
your
Yeah.
internal tasting memory, and trying to pin things down.
Where do you think you want this from? I'm drifting further and further away from Central Otago. I'm not in Central anymore. I'm totally somewhere else now.
I think number 4 draws me to Central. I think this is a New Zealand wine. It has an elegance, it's a cool climate style, beautiful freshness.
The whiteness and earthiness of wine too, of all the New World areas I can think of, that would give me that purity. It's really difficult to get my head out of thinking Central in that on the palate. Because what other areas would give us that quite continental
4-2?
For number one.
For one,
which
yeah.
is confounding me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to think New Zealand can make number 4.
Yeah, same.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, we can, I think,
Like
we can all agree that
I've seen this in California before.
Yeah.
Like sort of from Central Coast.
Yes.
Like that level, really.
Like
But yeah.
vibrant, ripe, but elegant at the same time. Yeah, should be good.
I think we can all agree that all the wines are quite intriguing and spectacular, all in their own way. And yeah, I'm very much happy to tell you what they are.
Yes, please.
So
yeah.
we can start with wine number 1. That is again Heidelberg from California.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
Californian Pinot Noir. Then if we move to number 2, this is a relatively new producer on an old vineyard in Tasmania.
Ah,
So we are on Tasmania and it's
Yeah.
Lowestoft.
Okay.
And this is like an old, like, I want to say chateau,
Sure.
but it's like a really like, the vineyard itself is about 40, 50 years old
Yeah,
now,
okay.
and it's like
Yeah.
9,000
Yeah.
plants per hectare, so it's incredibly dense.
But then they're making this sort of crunchy low inspired style of Pinot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think they're really trying to make their own mark with that wine.
Interesting.
Then wine number 3.
Yeah, where is this?
Is it from Piemonte?
Yes. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry, no Conterno today. But it is again Bas Philippe
Oh,
from
okay.
Gippsland,
excellent.
and that is the reserve Pinot Noir from 18.
So 18 was quite warm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's really the complexity here is enormous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely. So 18, great.
But it's quite singular, it's quite a singular style.
Yeah, it really stands out on its own. There's not really something where you could put that in a corner, which we saw on the tasting, where we were like, okay, this could be this style reminds me of, and this is very
Yeah.
terroir driven, what they see is best from their vineyards.
Yep.
And then last but not least, it is from New Zealand.
Yeah!
It's Kusuda.
Kusuda!
Ah, interesting, interesting.
Yeah, so just over the hills, again, right before Chardonnay, but yeah, I thought that would be a nice wine to try. You don't come across it very often, like with all the wines. The location is so difficult.
Yeah.
Is it 19?
20.
20.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Still very close.
Oh yeah.
Incredibly close.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on our Pinot flight?
Fantastic flight. Wonderful to see the diversity, as we've mentioned a few times, but I think that really is a really good portrait of where the industry sits currently in the New World. What I actually love about these wines is that they all speak to their place, and I don't really see many of the wines trying to be like Burgundy. They're actually just trying to be the best expression of themselves, which is fantastic, I think, for the New World. So.
Absolutely.
I think it's quite interesting in telling that to the you know how we often kind of talk about the restraint of modern brewing kind of being difficult to place it within New Zealand.
Yes.
It actually comes out in this wine quite well. It's that the nature of the tannins being slightly chocolatey and sort of cocoa-like. That restraint, that really closed floral style that. Not to go back to Burgundy, but there is a Burgundian aspect to it, which you see a little bit of North Canterbury with a different acid profile, but then comes out in this wine. It has that layered, brooding mid-palate, which is quite cool to see in the floral aspect of that, what the clone mix is, whether there is given in there or not, but yeah. I wonder if there is a little secret weapon in that name.
I think Pierre and Kusuda is the secret weapon, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The army of hand
Yes.
Yes.
hand distilling that he has.
Yeah, fantastic, beautiful wine.
Yeah.
So would that be the only one that doesn't have foliage?
I would say so. Yeah, he fully distends. So yeah, I would say of the whole flight, absolutely.
That's one that really stands out.
Yeah.
There's a compactness to the nose and the palate. which the other wines don't have. There's that whole bunch of openness in all the other
Yes,
wines.
and more. This is more sort of has a more savoury, earthy character around the edge of the fruit, where these have more of the herbaceous nettle and character actually integrated into the fruit through that whole bunch.
Do you feel that aids or hides the origin?
Great question. I think for me, it aids. Yeah, absolutely, because I think whole bunch is something which a lot of Pinot producers either choose to do or not, and stylistically that can draw you towards a certain region in some cases. I think those who choose to fully destem, it does show for me more distinction of the fruit, but having that kind of whole bunch is really necessary for obviously the tension, the structure, and obviously the diversity through the palate as well. So, yeah.
Shoot up to chicken nuggets along here.
Hopefully there was a nice reflection for the white man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a nice chicken nuggets going through the picture. But that's how it is with live recordings. But yeah, yeah, absolutely. And thanks a lot for your time and expertise, and
Thank you very much.
celebrating these beautiful wines from the New World.
Absolute pleasure to be a part of it. So thank you, and
Thanks
thanks
very
to
much.
my fellow taster, to Steve.
Thanks for letting us be here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.